Hey guys, welcome to the channel Untitled Tech, your one-stop destination for coding. This is Gagan and I'll be starting a new series on Python just for beginners. So without any further ado, let's start. So let's start with programming. I'll be writing all my codes in Visual Studio Code Editor. You can choose any of the editor of your choice, it won't make much of a difference. So first up, let's start by creating a new file. I'll give the file name as 1.py. Remember, all the Python files must be given by an extension .py. It is essential. So first up, let's start with the hello world program. For that, we have to give print followed by hello world. So what it does is it takes the string which is given inside the parenthesis and prints it on the terminal. So after saving this file, we have to execute the file. So we have to go to the terminal and then be in the directory where the file has been residing. And then to execute the file, we have to write python followed by the file name here 1.py. So here we can see the hello world being printed on the terminal. So next up is comments. Comments are very essential for programming. Comments can be used to explain Python codes. Comments can be used to make code more readable. Comments can be used to prevent execution of testing. So how do we write a comment? So we can write single line comments using hashtag and followed by comment which you want to give. So if I save the file and execute it won't make any difference as this only helps us for reading a file. We can write comments at the beginning of the statement or after a statement has been done. It won't make any difference. So what if we want to write multiple line comments? Example A, B, C, D, E, F. So if I want to make all these things as comments, we have to use a multi-line comment. For that, before and after the sentence are there, we have to give a triple quotes. So if we do that, all the strings which are there inside this triple quotes will be considered as a comment. Now if I save this program and run, there won't be any error because these are considered as comments. Next up, we'll see how variables can be declared in Python. Python has no command for declaring a variable. A variable is created the moment you assign a value to it. Example, x is equals to 5. Here 5 is the value which is stored by the variable x. So we can access this variable in the program by just specifying the variable name here, that is x. So if I save this and run, we can see that 5 is being displayed on the terminal. So a variable need not be just of integer type. A variable can be anything. Here I am doing a string variable. So if I print this variable, we can see that it will be printed. So variables will be, the data type of the variables will be dynamically allocated by Python. So what if we want to allocate a certain data type for a variable explicitly? We don't want it to change. So this can be done using casting. Example, x is equals to str of 54. So what it does is, though 54 is a number, it will be of type string in the variable x. So if I do print x and save, here this 45 will be a string of a variable string. So this will be stored as x will be of variable type string. So what if we want to be storing a variable of integer data type? That can be done using y int and followed by a number. So here y will be 3. We can assign a floating variables also. Example, here z float followed by the variable. So here z will be 3.0. Okay, so now I'll just to verify, I'll print all these variables. Print y, print z. So here you can see z, which is a floating variable, here 3, which is an integer variable, and here 43 being a string variable. Most of the time what happens is that we won't be explicitly telling the data type of the variable using casting. So most of the time we will use the dynamically allocated variable data type by the Python. So how to get to know the type of the variable? Here x is equals to 5. We know that it will be of integer type. But what sure that we know that it will be of integer type? So this can be found out by print followed by type of x. So what it does is it takes the type of the variable x data type and then prints it. So we can say this and run. So here we can see it is of a class integer. So y is equals to string. See here we know that y is string, but how to be sure it's of string data type? Here we can check out the type of the variable y. It will be of string type. So that's how we can be sure what type of the variable it actually is. So we may have the confusion while declaring a string. What exactly is the syntax? Should we give a single quote or a double quote? To be fair, it does not make any difference. Single quotes and double quotes will be treated as same in Python. Remember, Python is a case-sensitive language. Here, if I type x is a string of small x and capital X is a string of capital X. Here, this capital X and the small x are completely different variables. We can see that using the print statement. If I execute it, we can see that small x is being printed for the first time and the capital X is being printed for the second time. So this small x and capital X won't overwrite each other. There are two different variables. So a variable can have a short name like x and y or more descriptive name such as age, car name, total underscore volume. So to clear all the confusion, there are a set of rules for Python variables. A variable must start with a letter or an underscore. That is, example a is 10, which is allowed. Underscore a is equal to 10. These two are allowed. A variable name cannot start with a number. So 1 is equal to 10. So this is not legal. 1a is also not legal because a variable name should not start with a number. A variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscore. That is from capital A all the way to Z and from 0 to 9, and it can also have underscore. It can't have any other variable other than these three. We'll see some of the famous styles of naming a variable. First up, let's see camel case. So in this, the first variable will be smaller case, whereas the following names will be of capital letters. Each word except the first will start with a capital. Example, my variable is equal to 10. So this is allowed because it's starting with a small letter and there is no other thing. So I am giving capital V for the second word. Another type is Pascal case. So here each word starts with a capital letter. Here my variable is equals to 10. This is also allowed. So next famous is the snake style. Snake case. Here each variable is separated by an underscore character. Example, my underscore my variable. This is also completely fine. Next, let's see how multiple variables can be declared at once. Multiple values to multiple variables. Python allows you to assign variable to multiple variables in a single line. Example y, comma x. Example x, comma y, comma z is equal to 10, comma 20, comma 30. Here 10 gets assigned to variable x, 20 gets assigned to variable y, and 30 gets assigned to variable z. We can confirm it by print x, Ctrl C, z, and then y. So if I save and run this code, you can see x gets variable 10, y gets variable 20, and z gets value 30. So what if we want many variables to contain a single value? Example, x is equals to y is equals to z is equals to orange. So here orange is stored in all the three variables x and y and z. So if I print all the variables here, we can see that all these three variables contains the same data orange within them. So that's all for this week. If you have felt you have learned something, and if you have felt it was informative, so please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.